Alright, subcourse 5093, edition 5, preparing an RCS DLA W 1884 Defensive Fuel Supply Center, Bulk Petroleum Terminal Message 1 Report 101 519 5112. 51112. Alright, introduction to preparing the RCS DLA 1884 DFSC Bulk Petroleum Terminal Message Report. This distribution system for bulk petroleum fuel comprises the worldwide network of the bulk petroleum storage terminals that are established and meet the worldwide military requirements. These terminals are used to store defensive logistic agencies' own products. These products may be either reserve stocks, operating stocks to operate. The products may be held to distribution and supported activity. The defensive logistic agency does not own its facilities. Therefore, the Defensive Logistics Agency must use terminals owned by the U.S. government, foreign governments, and commercial contractors. There are 5 general types of terminals used in support of a worldwide military petroleum requirement. The government-owned, government-operated, or GOGO petroleum terminals owned by the U.S. government and are operated with one military department. The GOKU, government-owned contracted operated. The government-owned contracted operated petroleum terminals operated with the U.S. government and are operated by contractors. And then the COCO, contractor operated with the contractor-owned contractor operated, or the COCO petroleum terminals are owned and operated by contractors. Alright, FG, foreign government. The foreign government petroleum terminals are located overseas and are owned by either foreign governments or contract arrangement for these foreign government facilities are normally accomplished by using a bilateral agreement, by an annex or status of the force agreement, by a contract. The WTO, World Treaty Organization. The WTO, World Treaty Organization petrol terminals located in foreign countries are used to support the U.S. government worldwide petroleum requirement. Terminals may be owned by the treaty organization and normally operated with the foreign host countries under an established arrangement between the host country and the U.S. military service user. And the North American Treaty Organization terminals are a good example. Petroleum RCDLA 1884 Defensive Fuel Supply Center Bulk Petroleum Terminal Message Report. In Lesson 1, you will learn to draft a bulk petroleum terminal report from submission to the DPSC. The message determine the petroleum prepared for the bulk petroleum terminal message report. You must be able to assemble information required submitting the reporting according to the DoD Manual 4140.25 products 4140.25M products management of petroleum products. Prepare the message heading information gathering inventory level data. Tabulate the tanker discharge data. Identify significant changes in terminal support capability. Identify discrepancies in the report. Draft a message for transmission to the Defensive Fuel Supply Center. Learning Event 1, preparing the message heading. The bulk terminal message reports the operational report the use of the DFSC, managing petroleum to assist tanker car scheduling review to enter the data of the Defensive Energy Information System, and additional information provided with the report is used to ready resource answers and inquiries to respond to requests for information from all levels of the federal government. Is therefore extremely important to import information to and furnish with the defensive supply support, or that the report containing most accurately data available for the information provided with one timely basis. Any defensive fuel supply point or DFSCP operating with a defensive fuel automated management system or DFAMS must be subject to the bulk petroleum terminal message report. DFAMS is a new accounting system that replaced the old system submitting all the documentation to the defensive fuels Supplies Center by monthly. The RCS 1883 report or DAD Form 1788 bulk petroleum terminal report or supporting documents. Instead of old monthly reports, individual transactions are reported to the Defensive Fuel Supply Center within 2 days of the action. The Defensive Fuel Supply Point accountability records are maintained for each of the Defensive Fuel Supply Center computers. Currently, with the Department of Defense Manual 4140.25M does not reflect the Defensive Fuel Automated Management System to reflect the recent shift of the DFAMS. Specific guidelines for the bulk petroleum terminology reportedly contain the lessons indicated with the departure of the Department of Defense Manual 4140.25M to reflect the recent shift of the Defensive Fuel Automated Management System. The message heading contains the information used the communicator to transmit bulk petroleum terminal message reports. It identifies the person preparing the report, activating the submitting the report, the date of the report, and any special handling instruction of the message report. The reports are prepared with the 0800 hour local time each Friday. Reports will be sent then on a classified message to arrive at the Defensive Fuel Supply Center, or ODD, no later than 0800 degrees Washington, D.C. time following the Monday. The bulk petroleum terminal message report will be sent directly to the Defensive Fuel Supply Center, ODD, and enter information will be sent to the Joint Petroleum Office, or GPO, Defensive Fuel Supply Center, Defense Fuel Region, or DFR. An appropriate submission for the report will continue to minimize and has been imposed in the message correspondence. For the Figure 1, Appendix A, to determine the following information, including the bulk petroleum terminal message report from message addresses, the activity submitting the report. In some cases, this may be different from the terminals listed in the body of the report. To message the address to the address to the activity receiving the report, entering the DFC, Cameron's, STA, VA, DFSC, ODD, info, message address, appropriate JPO, DFSC, Defensive Fuel report, and military service headquarters to provide with the information copy of the request message classification. The bulk petroleum terminal message reports the transmitted unclassified message unless otherwise directed. Report title of the message subject line, either bulk petroleum terminal message reports RCS DLA.W 1884 Defensive Fuel Systems Center bulk petroleum terminal report. Report preparation information. Enter the date of the report, the name, and the commercial Autobahn phone number of the person who prepared this report. This way, the Defensive Fuel Supply Center point of contact. If any question arises, the results of the report. Report terminal's name, the applicable Department of Defense Audit Agency Center for terminal being reported. The DOD AAC as reported terminal is found with the Appendix B, Figure 1, example of correct heading of the bulk petroleum terminal message report. For example, Figure 1 shows example of the heading of the bulk petroleum terminal message report. Learning event number 2, submit the terminal inventory data. All reporting terminals must be subject to this Section 1 inventory data of the bulk petroleum terminal message reported Defense Fuel Systems Continental United States or Conas Fuel Region or Cognizant or Overseas Office, which will submit message reports for commercial operated terminals holding Defensive Logistic Agency stock. In the past, the data represents what directly with the Department of Defense 1788 bulk terminal report of the implementation of the Defense Fuel Automated Management System made from obsolete. Make activities, however, that continue with the reduce the form of locality, using it as a memorandum to record facility the preparation of the bulk petroleum terminal message report to maintain information accountability. Ideally, the required information needs to draft the message report should be available for the local records or on the Defensive Fuel Automated Management System records by the Defensive Fuel Automated Management System. Fuel meets the timely objective for reported data. Field experiences practice may be very activity lessons, parallels, information contained in Appendix A, preparation, and the actual terminal will require familiarization with local record keeping procedures. The bulk fuel quantities to provide with the bulk petroleum terminal message report reported nearest thousands of barrels, regardless of the product being reported. It should also be noted that 0 is entered in the appropriate column to report any of the bulk fuel quantity less than 500 barrels. Bulk fuel quantities are always reported in the nearest 1,000 barrels. Bulk lube oil quantities are always entered in the nearest barrel in the appropriate column of the report. The student should refer to both Figure 2 and Appendix A to follow and steps involved with the preparation section. In 1, inventory data of the bulk petroleum terminal message report. Section 1 must be completed by all reporting terminals. Example of the section inventory data for the bulk reporting terminal message report. JP in the defense fuel message is Aipd A through K. Inventory data report. Column A, the grade product. Each grade of the product of the reposition code. Example of these codes are found with the Appendix C of the entry of the code of each of the product of the column A of the message. Column B with the total receipts report the total quantity of each of the product graded received during the previous week. This weekly data submitted with the column will be same data that was used to complete line 2 of the old DD form 1788. Consult in local records to obtain total receipts at the terminal. Column C, receipts of the procurement report of the total quantity of the product received with all the contract sources recorded during the previous week. The weekly data submitted with the column will be the same as the data with completing line 2A of the old Department of Defense Form 788. Consult in local record information to obtain the total quantity of the product received for all the contracting sources during the previous week. This recorded quantity must be quantity product received with free on-board origin designation destination directly to the Defensive Fuel Supply Center contract source any of the mode except those deliveries made by one of the continental United States pipeline companies. Deliver those by the pipeline companies are excluded by the terminal facilities companies and contract with the Defensive Fuel System Point to hold the government defensive fuel system center owned stock to ship the U.S. government owned stock into the response to the requisition from the bases. Column D, sales. Wrote the total quantity of the product of the grade issued for the Department of Defense Logistics Agency consuming activity during the previous week. The weekly data submitted under this column will be same data that was used to complete 3A on the old DA Form 1788. Consult local row record information obtain the total sales of the terminal sales issued using the activity of the quantities products issued any of the activity that is required to reimburse the Department of Defense Logistics Stock Fund. Sales include those issues to the bases, affiliate, and units and field government, organization, foreign governments covered by the replacing in-kind agreements, any other using activity for which the issue results in reimbursement or of the stock fund. Column E is a physical inventory reporting the quality of the product grade on how they handle the terminals pipelines as the reporting data terminal complexity reporting inventories for cross-country pipelines. E.g., Spain, Italy, Germany, United Kingdom, and Korea will identify footnote with Section 3 of the bulk petroleum terminal message port reporting the portion of the inventory shown in column E with the help of the cross-country pipeline. Fill it in with the reporting complex as opposed with the portable product help with the manifolds and pipelines with the terminal complex. The data is also found in Block 6 of the DD Form 1788. Column F, storage capacity. Reported the total shell capacity of the tank is the terminal minus the total volumetric capacity of space below of the tankage because of the safe fill level limitation. The limitation is attributed to the structural loss. The effective data is not available. Reported the total of 95% of the tank shell capacity of less than 100% of the terminal pipeline manifold capacity. Cross-country pipeline in fill with terminal is not included with the quantity reported with the column F. Also, the tankage and taking out in the service of the tank terminal complexity will reduce the reported storage capacity that remains of the NA 80 Mike Barrel tank of the JP4 million is empty with cleaning and repairs. The storage finally normally reported for JP4 column F section I. The terminal complex must reduce the 80 Mike barrels such the entry must be also explained in section 2 of the report. The purpose of adjusting storage capacity of the column F is to determine the defensive fuel systems and to determine the existing ullage in the terminal complexes. Column G is expected 30 days to transfer report the total quantity of the product accepted to be issued and transferred to the terminal during the next 30 days. The quantity represents the totally expected issues. The transfers include the issues, activities issues, placement, and contact agreements issued by the caused by downgrading, transferring the defensive fuel system points. Column H is estimated 30-day sales report. The portion of column G on the product and grade estimated expected and to be issued consuming the activities during the next 30 days, requiring reimbursement of the Defensive Logistics Agency stock fund. Column A is an estimated 30-day receipt report with the total quantity product of the grade and the estimated receipt for the next 30 days. The next reported quantity represents the total expected receipt for the contract source of the transfer of the defensive fuel system points, returning the credit receipts replacement in kind with the product covered with the downgrading any capitalized stock. Column J is expected 30 days receipt of the procurement portion of the column 1 quantity of the product and grade estimated the receipt from the contract sources within the next 30 days. Column K is the total issued and losses reported the total quantity of the product of the grade issued and lost during the previous week. The week is that is submitted under this column, which will be the same data that was used in complete line 3 and 4 of the old Department of Defense Form 7088. Consult local records information obtain the total issued and losses to be reported in the terminal complex. Using the explanation of the section I in the inventory data portion of the bulk petroleum terminal message reports, the past week transaction can be determined that the figure 2 represents the inventory data. Past week, the transaction open inventory column E's past week JP4 469,985 defensive diesel fuel with 136,447 receipt column B and C from D defensive fuel system point by the pipeline JP4 136,088 of 384 tendered and the defensive fuel system point tanker JP4 100,025 and 107 Exxon Newark CCO 892 from procurement of the tanker defensive fuel diesel fuel 5,235 American Eagle CCO 891 JP4 149,210 American Eagle CCO 8091. Issues column D and K, JP4 diesel fuel transfer defusal supply point sales 230,155 or 50,226. Closing inventory column E, JP fuel 650,235, defuel fuel 100,364.156. Project receipts column I and J, procurement of the cargo vessel product quantity, the CCO 920 EGTS JP4 210, CCO 691 CVS PT diesel fuel 103, CCO 925C and JP4 210, CCO 932C ARC JP4 180 from the diesel fuel defensive fuel supply point pipeline tender 385 200. Project issues column G and H, JP4 diesel fuel issued the defensive fuel supply point at 200,000, 175,000 sales unit of 500,000 units, total 700,000 at 175,000. Storage data column in H, JP4 18 tanks the 5 mic barrels or 900 times the 1,000 barrels tonnage equals 900,000 barrels. One tank at 32 mics at 1,000 barrels each equals 32,000 barrels or 932,000 barrels at 95% fill capacity, 885 and 400,000 barrels. Defensive fuel tanks, diesel fuel, 3 tanks of 15 mic barrels times 1,000 equals 150,000 gallons. 3 tanks at 10 mic barrels at 1,000 at each will equal 30,000 mic barrels. 1 tank at 4.2 times 1,000 equals 4,200 mic barrels at 1,840. 200 barrels at 95 fill capacity is of 174,999 barrels. Alright, learning about submitting ocean terminal discharge information. All terminals involved in discharging loading ocean tankers additionally require submittal sections 2 of the bulk petroleum terminal message report for both to figure 3 of the past weekend transaction and follow the steps involved with the preparation of section 2 tanker data of the report. This is another example of the section 1 inventory data report A through K, JP4, and section inventory of the bulk display message. Column A is the grade of the product, each with the grade product with the 3 position code. These codes are found with the appendix C. The code of the A allows the product to discharge previous bulk petroleum terminal message. Column B, the cargo number, the discharge, enter the cargo number for each of the product discharge of the ocean tanker. C, since the previous week bulk petroleum terminal message report, the cargo number of the product can be found with the bulk 14, the applicable Department of Defense Form 251, tanker or barge material inspection receiving report reporting the cargo receipt with the defensive fuel automated management system. Column C, vessel name, enter the abbreviated code for the name of the vessel which is discharged for the product. Abbreviation of vessel names are found in appendix D. Column D, the quantity discharged, enter the quantity of the product discharged for the block 25 applicable form DOD form 251 reporting cargo receipt for the Department of Defense automated management system. Quantity discharged is determined for the terminal source tank. The quantity reported will result in the nearest 1,000 barrels for the bulk fuel. Column E, the grade of the product with the 3 position code for the grade of the product being reported with the port weighting of the discharge possessing of the discharge. The codes are found with the appendix C. Column F, the cargo numbers awaiting the discharge cargo number of each of the petroleum product on board vessels as part of the award discharging process. Discharging the date of the weekly report are found with the Defensive Fuel System Center. Weekly arriving the bulk of the 14 for the applicable Department of Defense Form 250-1. The cargo number entered in the cargo column 5 for the bulk petroleum terminal week message report. Column G, of the vessel name, enter the name of the abbreviated name of the vessel and waiting for the discharging process. Discharging at the time of the report vessel names or abbreviation found in appendix D. Column H is quantity awaiting the discharge quantity each of the product being held in the various vessels entered in the column H. The quantity reported for the nearest thousands of barrels for the bulk fuel. Quantity reported for the column H for the should be included the quantities reported in the columns I and J for the section 1. This is important to remember. The cargo is reported with the column H for the section 2, but unreported with physical inventory columns E section 1 with the explanation section 2 the tanker data reported bulk petroleum terminal message report and data in the past week's transaction. It can be seen in Figure 3 representing the following ocean discharge information. 2 ships are discharged with the cargo since the last report. The American Eagle discharged at 149,210 barrels. The JP4 and 50,235 barrels of diesel fuel under the cargo number CCO 891. Exxon net Newark discharged at 125,107 barrels of JP and under the cargo number CCO 892. The two ships are either awaiting an opportunity to discharge product at either the process unloading the Eagle transported at 210,000 barrels of JP4 under the cargo number CCO 920, and Cove Spirit has 103,000 barrels of diesel fuel available for the cargo number CCO 691. Example of Section 2 tanker data petroleum terminal message report that should. Alright, learning event number 4, provided terminal supportability capability data. The Section 3 remarks may be part of the bulk petroleum terminal message report under certain circumstances. The purpose of the remarks section provide all the information significantly affects the terminal support capability to allow to all management levels. Section 3 is to be submitted with the reporting activities when applicable. These remarks usually indicate the change in the normal terminal support capability. For example, assume the ocean terminal can be normally receive the ocean tanker with a maximum safe draft feet of 39 feet. However, due to the unusually heavy spring rains, the harbor basin is filled up with 3 feet of silt. This makes the basin shallower and reduces the maximum safety draft of the terminal of 36 feet. Such limitations must be reported in Section 3 of the report. The entry should also state whether the return of the normal support levels can be expected. Other examples might include such events as a usable storage tank that taken out of service, such as the entry should identify the data taken out of the service, the reason it was taken out of service, the data estimated for the return service for those tanks of the service, with no actual day of the month return of the service available for the complex, estimated with the first order of the fiscal year. It should be furnished once the tank has been reported out of the service. No further reporting is required until the change of the status occurs, e.g. the tank is returned to the service and the estimated date of the return of the service charges. Okay, convert new usable storage place into services as well as the effective date of the change in service capability for the new tanking coming into service is important to also know the tank bottom quantity of the usable storage manifold quantities tank currently stored and scheduled to be taken out of service during the next 80 days, and it's important not only to provide with the project data of the service but also report the tank number, inventory capacity, grade of product, the reason for the tankage will be out of the service, anticipated inventory changes, the unusual consumption downgrade, changes of the port terminals inventories or the cross-country pipelines between the terminals while reporting complex. Lesson 1, learning event 4, an unusual condition, whether the attention of the high authority example, the entries made under the remarks section 3 of the bulk terminal message are included in figure 4. Figure 4 shows an example of the section 3 remarks from the bulk petroleum terminal message report completed. The final sample. Before learning learning events to just explain how to prepare a message heading, how to submit the terminal inventory data, how to just submit the ocean terminal data, discharge information, how to provide terminal support capabilities for the learning events covered by all the requirements submitted to the bulk petroleum message report. Figure 5, the final message drafting covering the example included in this lesson. Figure 5 shows an example of the final message draft of the bulk petroleum terminal message report section from to info unclassified the message and from the petroleum message report RCS DLA 1884. The time of the at Washington D.C. 800 hours. The name of the terminals, the dongs and heads. Department of Defense Auditing Action, Army Auditing Action Center. Section A, inventory data. Section 2, data tankers. Section 3, remarks. And once again, this was subcourse QM 5093. Prepare the RCS DLAW 1884 Defensive Fuel Supply Center Bulk Petroleum Terminal Message Report 101 Critical Task 101 15 101 519 5112 Edition 5 Aipd course.